Today we're going to talk about scamming. Unfortunately, I look at adoption news at least once a month, if not a lot more. And when I recently looked last week, I couldn't believe how many stories of adoption scams that I found. It made me really sad, and I think it's really scary. And it's probably, frankly, one of the reasons why families don't move forward with adoption, because of the fear of scamming. And yes, it can happen. So I want to talk about some of the signs to look out for, some of the red flags, some of the questions that you should ask. And I also, before I jump in, want you to know how much I love and respect all of our birth mamas. And this has nothing really to do with those birth moms who find themselves in crisis and in a position that they never wanted to be in and are making a plan for their child to have the best life they can, or for whatever reason. I'm not talking about them. What I am talking about is the women who maybe like to prey on vulnerable people who they know would do anything to build their families. So some of the things you want to look for is, right, let me move up. So I'm specifically talking about birth moms who are going through agencies, not if you're doing it independently. If your agency presents you a situation, and to try to rule out if this is legit, you want to ask some of the things that an agency, I guess, should be looking out for. Is she asking for a lot of money up front and fast? So when she first comes on board, day one, is she asking the agency for money? Is she throwing out all these reasons that she needs money? So we want to look at what she's asking for, how much the agency's giving up front, and how quickly. Is she attending scheduled appointments and calling her social worker or caseworker as they are scheduled? Or does she have excuse after excuse as to why she can't make an appointment or isn't on time for phone calls? If she has placed before, I'm not saying she may not end up placing again, but she also knows the ins and outs of the adoption process and what she can ask for. So I've talked before about the power struggle of adoption, and it's complicated because at different points, different people in the triad feel like they are sitting in the quote unquote power seat. Which is also really confusing for agencies too, because agencies want to do the right thing by everybody, and yet they're running a business. And so that's complicated. I mean, the layers upon layers in the adoption industry is so complicated. But having placed before, she knows what she can ask for, and she knows that the agency wants to keep her, and she knows that the families want a child. So is she taking advantage of that? Because right now, the expectant mom is sitting in that power seat. And she just may be a bit more demanding. So just know that up front. Now, on the opposite, on the flip side, I always think it's good if she has placed before, because she knows what it feels like. And that's important too. So that can be tricky. Just know that that could mean a more demanding situation. If she is pregnant with a child of a different gender than the children she already has, is she going to be okay with that? So we need to push in that area and just find out, has that conversation been had? You know, if she has 3 boys and this one is a girl, is she going to want to keep the child? Now, that's not a scammer, by the way. So I guess I'm kind of mixing in scamming and whether or not we think she'll truly place. And sometimes, listen, an expectant mother has every right to change her mind. and has every right after her birth to decide to parent the child. Absolutely, and I respect that. And that's part of the process. But as we're looking for signs of will she actually place / could this be a scam situation, these are some of the things to look out for. So if she's pregnant with a child of a different gender than the children she has, what is the birth father's involvement or knowledge of her pregnancy and her adoption plan? Is he in the picture? Are they married? There's a whole nother layer of complication if she's married, but the birth father is a different person. So if she's married, that man is the legal father, and the other man is the birth father who also has rights. But we really want to know, is he aware of the pregnancy? Is he aware of the adoption plan? If not, why not? Can he be made aware? And are the agencies having conversations with the expectant moms about the importance of that? Now, there may be legitimate reasons why she just doesn't want to involve him or does not know who he is. And those are common as well. But the more we know about his involvement and his knowledge, the better the outcome typically. Getting proof of pregnancy that has been verified by a doctor. So 1, does the agency have physical proof of pregnancy, meaning a record from a doctor or hospital? And has the agency received permission from the expectant mother to talk to that doctor or hospital to verify again? Because there's a lot of false records being shared out there. A lot of false ultrasounds, and so we want to make sure that it's legit. So finding out from the agency, have you talked to the doctor that she saw or the institution that she went to verify the pregnancy? Has she signed consents for the agency to obtain medical records, and have they gotten any further medical records yet or not? Now, it's not uncommon if they don't get them on time of the birth, or even if they don't get them for a long time after requesting. I mean, if you know personally from your own doctor's offices, sometimes it's a pain to just get some of the records that you need yourself, let alone a third party asking for them. So that's not too uncommon. Has your agency seen the expectant mother face to face? Have they sat across from each other? Have they met her? Have they talked to her? You can tell a lot by looking into somebody's eyes and sitting across from them and really having some of these tough conversations and building a rapport with each other. Now, there are also a lot of agencies who work with expectant mothers all over the country. Let's find out what their protocol is. Is it just a phone call? Is it a Skype call or a Zoom call? Find out what those conversations have been. How do they know for sure that what she is saying is true? So have they seen her? Are they meeting with her face to face? How often are they talking with her? Is the expectant mother having crisis after crisis after crisis? That's a red flag, and sometimes a red flag for a scammer. Is she feeling super needy and super anxious to get things moving? That could mean, listen, the whole thing is really difficult because you never really know. But if people are skirting around your questions or you're not really getting real answers, question why you aren't getting the answers. And that might be a sign to look at. Now, I always say trust your gut, and I still say that. It's so hard in adoption because you're going to question everything. So I don't know. Yes, trust your gut. If something just doesn't feel right. And at the same time, I don't think anything feels 100% right ever. It's just one of those things.